What up, y'all? This your boy J7, and I'm holding it down once again for ONZMTL. And in the house tonight, we got a special guest, my boy Treh Lamonte. What up, bro?
We know what it is. What's poppin'?
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, man. Actually, I want to start there. I noticed you don't do too many interviews. Even when like looking up your name and doing research on you, like I see when we look you up, we get a lot of content, a lot of music, dope stuff, but not a lot of media. Is that like something that was by design, or is it just the way it happened?
Definitely not by design. I definitely would like to actually sit down with a lot more people and actually discuss things, because I feel like there are some, I don't know, things I maybe want to cover that I may feel that people want more information on or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm saying it because I was actually caught by surprise. You know what I mean? Because the quality of the product didn't match. So I said maybe he's more like a low key kind of guy. He doesn't like to go out and talk. But I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. But it's good that you say that so other people like take notice. You know what I mean? Like we go get the real talent out there, and we gotta shed the light on whoever's talented. You know what I mean? It's not about all the hoopla and more about the skills. You know, so that's why we have you here, man.
For sure, appreciate it.
A lot of people asking and want to know where the name comes from. Like, is it your government name? Is it something you came up with? People are curious.
Yeah, not my government name, but basically a little quick back story to it is basically Treh pretty much comes from, I'm from LaSalle. A lot of people know that. LaSalle, Texas, DeVille.
Okay.
When Treh stand up, you know what it is, Heights Park, all of that. So when I was going through high school, like, funny enough, a lot of people that would know me from high school, like elementary, I used to do a lot of hip hop dancing and stuff, like more back in those times, you know?
Okay.
So I actually used to go by Froggy. That was my name, right? So then basically one of my guys, he was older than me, used to go to school with me. His name was Tristan Williams.
Okay.
He gave me the nickname Treh because he used to cut my hair for a minute, you know? So he just happened to call me Treh because he's like, yo, like your energy, like you're a little bit older, like you come off a little older than your age, you know? It's like you're 36 or something. I just happened to be the number he said, you know? And from there, he just always used to call me Treh. So yeah, from there I adopted that. And the Lamont part comes from, my mom's last name is actually Lamont.
Oh, okay.
And you know,
it's so like an adaptation.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because a lot of the stuff that's embedded in my music, as far as some of the morals I may and gems I may drop, comes from that upbringing. So I wanted to kind of keep that, you know, twined into my music. So it's like the Treh comes from, you know, more or less me being from LaSalle, which comes with what it comes with, which, you know, and then the Lamont side of it is just a little bit more grounding, a little bit more, you know what I mean?
No doubt. That's dope. More, that's dope. See, a lot of people was asking that question, so it's really interesting because it's really actually an interesting answer to the question. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So a couple months ago, you released a long-awaited EP called "Fall for a Real One." Dope product, dope, great production. How's the reception, man, so far?
It's been good. A lot of people have been hitting me back, you know, stating which records they like the most. This, that, the third. So yeah, I'm just
reaction is good in general.
Yeah, it's good. I have one video in the tuck ready to, you know, whenever I'm ready, I'm gonna drop that on them. But for the most part, yeah, it's been getting a good reaction. I'm good with that.
Actually, when doing the research and stuff and talking to people, I noticed. I mean, you have a big female audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of them were, when I mentioned I was gonna interview, were like, oh man, like they love your music, they follow your stuff.
Yeah.
And actually, one of them asked me, why did he call the project "Fall for a Real One"? Like, what does he mean? Is it directed to somebody? Like, what's the meaning behind it?
Yeah, no, perfect question. Basically, it's like it's really a triple entendre. Like, so basically, F.F.A.R.O, which, you know, has the way that it sounds, not the way it's spelt, but it sounds like, you know, the Egyptian god, right? Yeah. So me, I'm still getting, well, not say getting my way through, but I'm more of a spiritual person than religious, you know what I mean? So there are certain gems and bars I may drop that have a little bit of, I guess, wokeness in it, in a sense, you know what I mean? I don't try to come off preachy, because that's never my energy, but like, I always like to try to give them, you know what I mean? You got to put a little something in the medicine sometimes to make them digest it, you know what I mean? So that's that side of it. It's like knowing that you're gonna get some of that type of substance in the music, right? Then there's the aspect of basically "Fall for a Real One" is like in the fall time right now. We're going through the transition. Yeah, everyone gets into this whole concept of like cuffing season, right? Yeah, which for me is kind of it's a waste of time, because it's like you're kind of like you're playing yourself, because you're gonna sell a lie to a girl for a few months until like it starts to get hot again to go like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's messy. My vibe is like, yo, if I'm with you, I'm with you. If I'm not, I'm not. Exactly. So for me, like F.F.A.R.O season is just, yo, you just kind of like, you see how, I don't know, I guess how these girls on this whole hot girl summer thing where I guess it's just you being blunt about how you're moving. I guess my thing is kind of like that, but not really like just being all out there. It's just more about, yo, standing your ground. Like, if this is the type of time you're on right now where you're not seeing no one and you're just out there, then, yo, just be honest with that from the gate. Like, you know, this is not what I'm into. But if you are into something or you are into a girl, you want to let her know, like, yo, I'm pursuing you, then, yo, stand in that and actually try to be like loyal. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like, why waste the time?
I get the meaning. I get the meaning.
Yeah, you know, so it's like, for me, fall time for a real one is like you sticking to your shit. Like, it's not about this whole cuffing season. Like, for me, that's a dub. Like, you know, like, if you're on that cuffing season, I kind of agree with you.
I never really understood that vibe, but I mean, hey, to each his own, right?
Not to say I didn't participate when I was coming up, but like, you grow up to be like, when you actually start to talk to girls on a real level, like, they just respect it a lot more.
Of course. I noticed it's Frequency 1.
Yeah.
Fall for a Real One, Frequency 1. Does that mean it's like part of a bigger project, like it's chapter 1 of a bigger body of work?
Yeah, ideally what I wanted to do is basically I'm calling them frequencies instead of either chapters or series or whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, exactly. Just to once again tie into that little bit of a spiritual aspect, you know what I mean? Energy, frequencies, these are all languages that people of that world are going to understand, right?
Absolutely.
So I did want to kind of do 3 frequencies of that project, but for right now I feel like I just want to build up my fan base more and kind of really know who's like my audience before
who's checking for you to kind of know how to present the other ones.
Yeah, I more or less had the second one ready to go, to be honest with you, but I'm putting the brakes on it for now until I feel I have a little bit more momentum to actually put it out.
That's actually smart, strategic. You got to move like that.
Yeah.
Random question: if you could change anything in the music industry, what would it be?
That's a crazy question, honestly.
I mean, it could be like any little thing. If there's anything that you, I mean, if you like it the way it is and you're like good with it, I mean, it is what it is. It's just random question that popped in my head.
Yeah, no, that's good question. Off top, I really can't even. There are like a lot of things that could use work, you know, but off top right now, I couldn't really say. I'd be
okay.
reaching.
So let me ask you about this. You released a single called Loud Boys a while ago, produced by Dirtwork. Shouts to Dirtwork, doing his thing. And since then, I mean, he's evolved. He's had a couple good placements on Lil Wayne's project. I saw one, I think, on Treh the Truth's project. Just making good moves. So do you plan on doing more stuff with him? I know he was a long-time collaborator.
Yeah.
And do you think Montreal is at the like world-class level when it comes to producers now?
Just to answer that second part first, as far as the producers, I feel like the production game in Montreal is crazy. I feel like there's a lot more engagement, not to say engagement, but there's more success there than yet for us to see like those few artists who are really kind of getting on that front page, you know? So I definitely enjoy watching that. Big up to Dirt. He's always been someone who's, dropped gems on me and giving me advice. He's known me for like the longest time, you know?
No doubt. I mean, he's been doing his thing for the longest time. So it's always good to see, somebody putting in work get to where he's getting at, you know?
No, for sure. We're definitely gonna always keep working on stuff and keep some more things in the works. So definitely look out for something in the future, for sure.
No doubt. Actually, talking about producers and stuff, today a lot of people get their beats on YouTube and some people do whole projects without even meeting any of the producers. What's your method? Like, do you rather work with the producer or like get the beats online? Doesn't make a difference?
I'm actually like nothing against it, but I'm unless I'm really in the zone where I'm like, I just kind of want to be creative and just test my ear on a new beat or test out a vibe or energy. Then I may go and get something on like YouTube or go on SoundCloud.
Okay, so you're more like of a in the studio with the producer.
and if not that, like right now, one of my main producers, shout out to Warlord. He's actually from London.
Okay.
And I work very closely with him. He has, I think, 2 if not 3 songs on the first project. It might be 2.
Shouts to Warlord. Shouts to the whole London.
For sure. Big up London. What you mean? Come on, man, them and that. Yeah. So that's my guy, and he has like even a lot of the future music I have, like a lot of the next single I'm trying to work on right now, he produced that as well. And we're like frequently on FaceTime and, you know, talk back and forth, go over the songs.
So it could work both ways, basically.
Yeah, I like to lock in with people though. If I actually do like something from, even if it's one producer that sends me like a dope record, I like to try to get in a little bit more with them, you know what I mean? So we kind of build some type of relationship.
I think it does make a difference. And speaking of relationships and stuff, I seen you myself, like being in the club scene in Montreal. I seen you moving around, meeting the right people, talking to the right people, pushing your music and doing it yourself, you know, in a humble way. How important you think it is to like build relationships in the industry, whether it's DJs or like radio hosts or whatnot?
That's like the most important thing. Like, you know, like there's almost like a strategy to it. So if you don't really kind of sit down and know how to move in a room, like that's almost kind of, I wouldn't say it's what makes or breaks you, but if it's not you doing it, somebody's doing it for you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, your music could speak for itself, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to get in the room and speak to someone at a certain point, and you have to know how to, you know, either represent yourself or articulate exactly what it is that you want to do or what you are doing.
I think it's the best way. I mean, that's something I saw and I respected. I was like, it's cool to see because you've been around for a while and you're still doing it and putting in the work. You know, that's important. So for people out there who are discovering you right now, that want to know like what kind of vibe, what kind of music you make, because I mean you have a multifaceted style, you know what I mean? Like I remember you more doing the rapping thing back in the days. Now it's more melodic and singing. So for somebody who doesn't know Treh Lamonte, like how would you describe your style?
Well, first off, I would say now I'm like a crooner, you know. So that means I kind of fall within the lines of like yeah, I could sing, right? Like, but I'm like more of I come from a cloth of like, you know, Jagged Edge, Tank.
Yeah, but I mean, hold on, but you're naming me people that can sing right there.
I know, but I just feel like the energy that they gave on records was more just like, it was more swaggy, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not gonna come on a record like how, I don't know, I guess like Chris Brown would come on a joint, or like even how like Omarion would come on a joint. I'm not gonna really come that same way. Like there's something about, I guess, where I'm at with R&B right now and the type of music that I'm making, where it's just, it's funny. Even the other day, like one of my OGs, he asked me, he's like, he asked me if there's a different way that I write my music at times, because he noticed that there's a bit of a pattern to how, like, I write with the music instead of like some people have like an unorthodox.
Yeah, everybody has their
own
method.
Where it's kind of offbeat, or they don't have a rhyme scheme, but there's like a melody flow or something. You know what I mean? So it's my thing is I'm more in the beat. You know what I mean? Whereas some of the artists I named you are more, as I said, unorthodox. You know what I mean? They might do something else. So that's where I feel like I'm a crooner. Is I just kind of more lay with the beat and kind of just do my thing, you know? So
let me ask you this. What's your favorite thing about being a musician so far? You know, in your journey so far, what has been the thing that you're like, man, I'm blessed. I love doing this. You know what I mean? The
creation, man. Just like when you actually, when you have, not even when you have the product, it's just when you're making it and you know, like, yo, this is something, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's always exciting to me, like, know that
ties with one of my questions also, that what you prefer, like, you prefer creating in the studio or performing on stage?
Oh man, well, honestly, I would probably say the creation.
Yeah, from what you told me, it sounds like that's what it is.
Like, more or less, I started as a performer, right? I started as a hip hop dancer, so you would think I would say performing, but that is a part of it I love a lot too, you know? But the creation, like, you're kind of taking into concept how it would be performed. Like that, I kind of think about these things too when I'm writing lyrics.
So it's kind of like, okay, I get what you're saying.
If I wanna have a certain bar that's easy to call back on, or if I, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been thinking about you're envisioning the live as you're creating in the studio.
Exactly. And that may not always be my main focal point, but at a certain point when I'm listening to the playback and whatever, I'm thinking about, okay, yo, how would this vibe, like, in a live setting, like, you know?
Dope. Tell me something for the people that don't know. What nationality? What's your background? Where'd you grow up? You know, like you explained it a little bit earlier, but just break it down for the people.
No, for sure. My mom's Trinidadian, she's from Trinidad, and my dad's from Barbados.
Okay.
So that's my mix, you know. Soca runs in my blood, so the girl them you have to know. Come test the wine if you want. You know.
He warned y'all.
You know.
But
I was raised in LaSalle, like I said, born and raised LaSalle. Cecil Newman.
So I mean, the reason I'm asking that is because there's you do music that sounds dance hall vibe-ish. I mean, Caribbean vibes, and obviously it's from your background.
Yeah.
I feel like you could drop like a dancehall project tomorrow kind of thing, listening to the songs I heard.
Yeah.
Is that something you're thinking that you might do? You might do a project more in that direction, or you're going to stick to what you're doing right now?
Well, like I said, as far as projects right now, I'm wheeling back until I really hone in on my crowd. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm always going to be versatile as far as the music I'm putting out.
It's dope, because I mean, it's dope. The product I heard was like, we could tell you're from the islands. That's how you grew up. That's how you were raised, because it comes off authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not Jamaican though. I pull off a couple accents, but I'm not Jamaican.
For the record,
just putting it out there, because you know.
So listening to the project, I heard there was, I think, only one feature, if I'm not mistaken, Izzo Blunto.
Yep.
I discovered him on your music. Dope artist. And I see you guys repping like Loud Boys. I see you repping OTB.
Yeah.
Only the Bosses. I mean, you see the branding is exquisite.
Yeah.
I think it was out the box before. I don't know if it's connected or not.
Yeah.
But break it down to the people. Like, what's the crew, the label? What's that situation like?
Okay. Well, first off, there's no real like label situation. It's really just all like a collective, like you know what I mean. So what you know as Outside the Box, primarily that started with Millie Mills, and Hollywood, you know. So they had that whole OTB situation, and they took me under. Did a lot of like artist development, just getting in the studio with them.
Okay, so you started off with them.
Yeah. Like when I really got like my feet going as far as on the Montreal scene, those were the guys that really took me in, like, you know what I mean? So I got in studio with a lot of good producers, great engineers, this, that, the third. A lot of guidance was given through getting with these guys.
Dope.
And as far as Loud Boys, that's really my brother, Izzo Blunto. That's like his movement. Like that's really what kind of like he spearheaded, you know what I mean? And we've been close like for years, you know?
Okay, so it's more movement crew type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
For the people that didn't know. Okay,
exactly,
Loud Boys. Being that we are in Montreal, we are in QC, do you envision any collabs with any French artists from out here? Is this something that happened before? What's your take on that?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely, as of lately, that's actually been something I've been thinking about a lot, is just trying to find just the right artist where it makes sense. I don't like to force anything, you know what I mean? I don't want to just do it for the sake of doing it. I know there's a lot of love over there. So I kind of want to tap in and get some of that love too, because, you know what I mean? It's all about the music at the end of the day. And I feel like I'm just waiting to come across the right people, or just, you know, get the right vibe from the right person, and just
no doubt do it organic in an organic type of way. So you've been around in the scene for a long time. I remember you from those days, the OTB days, and the Bad News Brown days. R.I.P. Bad News.
Rest in peace.
How'd you see the game change since then till now? Like, what do you think it changed for the better? Do you think it's worse than what it was? Like, how do you see it?
Nah, it definitely changed for the better. You know, I'm actually, I'd kind of consider myself lucky to have gotten a chance to be around certain people, especially at that time. You know, I was probably like 17.
Dope.
You know, I'm going on 27 right now, so I was probably like 17, 18 when I really started to get around like the Bad News, and even Cena, big up to Montreality. You know what I mean? Like seeing these guys do their first runs, you know what I mean? New regime, all of that, you know what I mean? So I kind of consider myself blessed, because I'm seeing where all these guys are at now, and it's like everything's moving forward. You know what I mean? Everything's moving forward. So I don't think, there's nothing to be ashamed of as far as where we're at. I think there's just a lot more ground to cover, you know? So
no doubt. As an English artist out here in the city of Montreal, do you feel like you're saying you want to build your fan base and stuff? Do you find yourself concentrating a lot on like Toronto, because all eyes are on the 6 right now, or do you think it's better to create something out here in your hometown?
I don't know. The Toronto thing is, as much as it makes sense, I feel like it's such the obvious answer. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't play into it too much. Like, yes, it's definitely a spot where you want to be embraced. It's a spot right now where it's like you're probably going head to head with, like, not to say it's, well, probably some of the better artists coming out of Canada, you know what I mean? Because eyes are on there, so everyone's putting their best foot forward, right? But yeah, I would definitely, first off, definitely love to have more love in my hometown first. But that's definitely not my focus because it's bigger than that, right? The world is bigger than Montreal.
I mean, now with the internet and stuff, you have access to everybody. So definitely it's a good thing, a good tool to use.
Yeah.
So random question. You're on a deserted island. Since you sing, you rap, you can choose. You can only listen to one album of R&B and one hip hop album. Which one would it be?
Sick. Honestly, it's probably gonna, if it's an R&B album,
for the rest of your life, bro.
Rest of my life. It's probably gonna be a Jagged Edge album. I don't know which one it is, but whichever one has Walked Out of Heaven.
Okay.
Stop playing with me. I'm gonna have that for sure. As far as hip hop, I don't even know why I'm saying this, but probably like, cause I haven't really listened to, like, not to say I don't listen to hip hop, but it's like for that moment where it was real and like something you could live with, I probably have to say like Lauryn Hill or something.
Miseducation, okay.
Yeah, something from her, cause I know I'm gonna get vibe, I'm gonna get grooves,
you get a little bit of everything,
substance.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'll be good with that.
Good choices, interesting choices, no doubt. So I remember back in the days, man, I had seen artwork for a collab between like Cali rapper Yuck Mouth from the Bay Area featuring you, featuring Magnum, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I don't know if that song ever came out.
Yo, this guy's coming like Nardwar.
But I don't know if it ever came out. But I remember seeing the visuals for that, and as far as the graphic, the artwork, and I wonder if that ever came out. Like, do you have any American collabs that you would want to have or you're working on right now?
Yeah, I think that record actually did come out. Shout out to Mags. That was Mags that really put together that whole situation. Looking back, definitely not one of my stronger hooks, but it was a great situation to be a part of.
I never heard it. I mean,
yeah, no, I actually think it's on YouTube right now. If you search it up, it might be out. Yeah, definitely not one of my stronger hooks, but like I said, it was a blessing to be a part of that situation. Just have my name in the mix with that.
Of course, that's
regardless,
cool.
You know what I mean?
So, I still remember it just because I seen it and I was like, damn, that's dope.
Yeah, it's great. I actually just seen Yuckmouth on the podcast with Nori the other day too. I never really knew who he was. I just knew like I was
from the Loonies and stuff. I mean, he does have some classic material, so it was really dope to see. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Shouts to Yuckmouth, the whole Bay Area. You know what I mean?
Big out fucking Mags too.
Yeah, of course, OG Mags. So now in 2019, a lot of music we hear, like, it's like you were saying earlier, it's like it's kind of, how can I say it? The lines are blurred, you know what I mean? Like R&B singers or rappers are singing, and like when I listen to you do the vocal thing, you singing, I feel like you have vocal talent, you know what I mean? So do you think that the auto-tune kind of hurts somebody like you that actually can sing, or it makes no difference?
Nah, because what I always say is that, like, I don't know, auto-tune is kind of, nowadays it's kind of just used as an ingredient, you know what I mean? Depending how much retune speed you have or not is depending on you, right? Because
I see a lot of people, especially old heads, like really mad at the auto-tune thing, and it's Well, I mean, I feel like you gotta kind of evolve with it, but at the same time, I speak for rappers, but I mean for vocalists, it might be different, you know what I mean?
But I would always say it's about how you use it, right? Because at the end of the day, it comes down to the live show. Like when you're really on, people want to come and see you in live performance.
Absolutely.
Granted, we're in a day and age where people do have auto-tune in live sets now, which is crazy. I put a little bit more passion to my shit where it's like, I actually want to try to get my shit off. Like,
exactly.
Sometimes I be cracking and I don't even know if people even catch it, but me on the playback, I'm like, I'd be like, I'm a little flat, but I feel like there's realness to it.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Even when you listen back to some of the older R&B records, like even like some of the 80s and stuff, like 80s, 70s, like R&B, like
I feel that's what gave it character, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So it's like when you're hearing it live and you're hearing those little mishaps, but you know, I catch it back in the next few bars. It kind of makes you feel like, okay, like he's in it, like, you know what I mean, type of vibe.
More passion behind it.
Yeah, when I hear people perform an auto-tune, it's like, unless it's for me personally, if I'm hearing a guy like, let's say Migos or Travis Scott or Nas,
that's different.
I want to hear these guys with the tune. I don't want to hear you without your auto-tune.
No, but
you know what I mean?
The reason I'm asking you is because I know you can actually sing. So, you know what I mean? That's why I wanted your take on it.
And it's weird too now because I feel like our ears are kind of tuned to hear that. So if we were to hear someone who doesn't use Autotune or Melodyne,
that would be a little bit.
It would be like, what is, like, this is kind of off. Like, you know what I mean? So
crazy. 2019.
Like
who knows where it's going to go next, right?
Word.
Let me ask you this. If you could travel anywhere, if you could be offered a world tour, where would be the first place you would want to hit?
Crazy. Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Huh. Any reason behind that?
Honestly, as you asked me that question, I had a flashback to like a interview I did when I was probably like 17.
Okay.
And I said this before. Well, not even say like I stated any big fact, but I've just always known that Atlanta was like a hub for like music. It's one of the tri-states. Like I feel like
it is
Atlanta, New York, and like LA, you know. I have family in Houston. I have a love for Houston too.
No doubt. Shouts to all my people in Houston, man.
For sure.
We love the H.
That's a whole nother story. We have to do a podcast about that shit. But Atlanta for sure. I definitely need to touch on. But yo, T.I.
Check in.
Exactly. Let's make it happen.
So before we out of here, what's coming up? Let the people know what's the singles or shows coming up, and let them know what your social media is.
Word. I got September 23rd. That's a Monday. I'm opening for Dizzy Wright and Madchild at Belmont.
No doubt.
So catch me over there. I got Guy Like Me, the last record off the EP, F.F.A.R.O. That video is locked and loaded, so it's gonna be coming this fall. I don't have a date for it yet, but
it's all good.
That's gonna be coming. And
where can people find you, man, on social media?
Everything Treh Lamonte, so TREHLAMONTE. Everything's the same. I don't do all that other stuff. So
no doubt.
Catch me everywhere. Treh Lamonte everywhere.
Shouts my boy Treh Lamonte. Fall for a Real One is out right now. Your boy J7 signing out. ONZMTL.
Big up.